Hi, I'm Sunny. Welcome to another episode of Ask Starbase. Today's question is, what is the closest anyone has ever come to the sun? Well, before I answer that, let's talk a little bit about the sun. The sun lies at the heart of the solar system, where it is by far the largest object. It holds 99.8% of the solar system's mass and is roughly 109 times the diameter of the Earth. That's so big that about 1 million Earths could fit inside the sun. It's amazing. The visible part of the sun is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, while temperatures in the core reach more than 27 million degrees, driven by nuclear reactions. Now, nuclear reactions are a series of steps where protons fuse together and are turned into helium. The fusion process occurs inside the core, and the transformation results in the release of energy that keeps the sun hot. Now, according to NASA, one would need to explode 100 billion tons of dynamite every second to match the energy produced by the sun. Also, the gravitational pull of the sun is what keeps everything here. But even though the sun has such a powerful pull, it's surprisingly hard to actually go to the sun. It takes 55 times more energy to get to the sun than it does to go to Mars. Why is it so difficult? Well, the answer lies in the same fact that keeps the Earth from plunging into the sun. Our planet is traveling very fast, about 67,000 miles per hour, almost entirely sideways relative to the sun. The only way to get to the sun is to cancel the sideways motion. Now, back to our original question about coming closest to the sun. On August 12, 2018, NASA launched the Parker Solar Probe on a mission projected to last about 7 years. Well, on October 29th of 2018, NASA's probe broke the old world record, I should say, for the close to the sun distance of 26.55 million miles. Now, that previous closest solar approach was made by the German-American Helios 2 back in April of 1976. The probe, which is about the size of a small car, is not only the closest object to the sun, but it's also the fastest object ever sent into space. Using the sun's own gravity to assist it, the spacecraft is expected to reach a mind-boggling speed of 430,000 miles per hour. That will not only break the heliocentric speed record, but also make it the fastest object ever made by human hands. Of course, the conditions so close to the sun are intense, so the probe won't hang out there for very long. The radiation that close to the sun is deadly. It will be exposed to the blistering heat of the sun at a spacecraft melting temperature of 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. To withstand that intense heat, the Parker Solar Probe is protected by a carbon composite shield about 4.5 inches thick. And even with that shield, the probe has to limit its exposure to protect itself and its instruments. So it will conduct 24 looping oval orbits, including 7 flybys of Venus to deaccelerate and slow it down. In each of these orbits, it will approach the sun closely, conduct its science, and then loop away. The mission is designed to answer 60-year-old questions about the sun. And in order to answer these questions, the probe has to get closer to the sun than any object ever before it. It will move directly through the sun's outer corona and come as close as 4.3 million miles. Now, the corona is the halo around the sun that we typically see here on Earth during a solar eclipse, the corona is much hotter than the surface of the sun at several million degrees, and scientists have no idea how, since the sun's energy is generated at its core. The spacecraft will loop around the sun over 20 times to try to figure out that question, along with many others. Now, the Parker Solar Probe is set to continually make and break the record of getting closest to the sun for the next few years, ending with its final close encounter of just 3.83 million miles from the sun's surface in 2024. The sun is the only star we have access to, so studying how it interacts with Earth should tell us how life evolved here and how life might evolve around the stars. Now, if you're wondering how close a person can come to the sun, well, since it gushes radiation and burns at about 9,940 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to incinerate just about any material, there are no plans to send a manned mission in that direction anytime soon. That's it for today's Ask Starbase. Thank you for joining me. If you have a STEM question you would like answered, please email us at ask@starbase-ct.com. Thank you. See you all soon.